The design drawing of the part to be produced is handed over to the foundry, either as finished part drawing or as raw part drawing. The finished part drawing corresponds to the design drawing of the finished part. As casting processes usually do not allow for high precision and surface finish, the castings must almost always be further machined using a different production process. For subsequent machining, there must be sufficient material left at the positions of the casting, where further machining is required to achieve the requested accuracy. Thus, the requested dimensions of the finished part must be greater by the allowance at the casting. The drawing of the casting shape is referred to as raw part drawing. The raw part drawing contains the allowances requested by the designed, machining allowances and drafts with all length, thickness, and angle tolerances, as well as the positions of sprue, also referred to as gate, and riser. Next, it must be defined using which casting method the casting should be manufactured. This also determines what types of mold should be produced. Here we have basically two different options, namely casting with lost molds, which are destroyed after the casting process, and casting with permanent molds, using which many castings can be produced. As lost molds must be produced for every casting, this task can be significantly simplified by a pattern for mold production. The patterns are produced in the pattern making department. We will explain later how the final casting molds are created from the pattern in the mold and core making shop. Permanent molds are produced in the mold making department. The next process step in casting-related production is the casting step itself, hence filling of the mold with liquid melt. The most frequently used casting process is gravity casting. Here, sand or permanent molds open on top are filled with melt utilizing gravity. After the casting process, the casting must solidify and then demolded. The time for solidification can vary quite a bit. During subsequent cleaning of the casting, molding material, as well as sprue and riser, are removed from the casting. Casting seams are flattened as well. If needed, the surface can then be processed with water or steel shot blasting to improve the surface finish. If possible, any subsequent heat treatment should be avoided, as it causes additional costs. However, in the case of some casting methods, for example for producing malleable cast iron, heat treatments after casting are part of the normal production sequence. This way, certain characteristics of the casting can be influenced, such as its strength, hardness, and elongation. Our casting is not finished. Lost molds should be designed such that the molding material can be fully reused after removal of the solidified casting. This way, an ecological material cycle is close to the mold and core making shop. Material residues occurring during cleaning are reused for new castings in the smelter.